Hey, it's Scott, ROCKFILE, back with another podcast review. Going to talk about the new Arrow 4K edition of 1998's Lost in Space. This has always been one of those guilty pleasures for me. I grew up on the original show. I love it. It's one of my favorite things along with the original Star Trek. And I was lucky enough in 1998 to go see the premiere of this. It was held in Atlanta. At the time, Ted Turner was on the board for Warner Brothers, and through his charity with Jane Fonda, my parents were involved. So they had the opportunity to buy tickets. Each year they would do one movie premiere. We saw Batman and Robin. The stars showed up. There were several other movies, a Steve Martin movie. And this one, 1998, we went, and the entire cast showed up. Well, almost everybody. Gary Oldman wasn't there, unfortunately. But anyway, from seeing it from that to now, it's just been a favorite. I like that it's a different take on the topic. It's a different take on the Swiss Family Robinson. I think some things work and some things don't. But what really, really works now, especially on the new 4K, is practical sets, practical effects, big movie stuff that they just don't really do anymore. They do the volume and blue screen and green screen, and you don't really get to see giant sets built anymore. The new 4K from Arrow is spectacular. It looks great. They went back to the original movie, the original film elements. It's all been remastered in 4K with Dolby Vision HDR, 4K DI. Just 5.1 lossless. We didn't get a Dolby Atmos. That would have knocked it out of the park. But what does knock it out of the park is all the extras. Several hours of brand new extras, new interviews with the director, the writer, some of the people that were behind the scenes, the special effects, the art direction. Literally, that was worth the price of admission. There's also a great booklet in there, reversible sleeve, get the old stuff and the new stuff, and a slipcover with the new artwork. I thought the movie looked and sounded fantastic. The soundtrack sounds better than it ever has. The movie has a very filmic look. Like I was expecting it to look kind of sterile, like a J.J. Abrams Star Trek movie. It does not. It looks like a film when it opens up. There's some film grain, and that opening action scene in the orbit of Earth is pretty spectacular. Matter of fact, all the special effects look really good except for the two that never did. The spiders just look okay, and Blarp looks terrible. Always has looked terrible. But if you see what they started with, they just couldn't pull it off in 1998. And in retrospect, looking at this movie, it's a little over 2 hours. It has too much in it. Honestly, they could have cut all of Blart, whatever his name is. They could have cut him out completely out of the movie, shortened the movie up, and it would have moved a little quicker. They did change some things at the end. Blart was going to be bigger in the time bubble, and I'm glad they pulled that out. But it really serves no purpose other than a callback to the show. And we didn't get a talking carrot like the final season of the show, but every other little thing, like the robot having little packs on him that could change out, and just there were so many callbacks to the show. Did we need the Blart? I know it was cute. I'm also not the biggest fan of Lacey Chabert's version of Penny. I'm sure she was probably doing what the script called for and what the director told her to do, but she's overacting quite a bit in the movie, and it just doesn't fit with the vibe of what Penny used to be on the show. But again, we're going for a new thing. Jack Johnson, who plays Will, I thought he did a fantastic job, and I think the entire crew is good. A lot of people pick out Joey in space. The fact that Matt LeBlanc is probably the weakest link in here. And yes, standing next to Gary Oldman, William Hurt, Mimi Rogers, Heather Graham, and Jared Harris. He's also in this. Matt LeBlanc doesn't. But he was playing a cocky pilot, and I thought he played it well. Matter of fact, there was a few times where he could have stepped over the line with Heather Graham's Judy, and he didn't. It kind of kept that wholesome feel. I think, especially now watching the director conversation and the other people and what they were trying to do, they were trying to update it. Like the art direction, they said no right angles. That's why everything is curved. Everything is curved. Doorways. I mean, think about how hard that had to be to pull off. And it's something that a lot of people wouldn't even clue into. But watch Lost in Space again and remember that the art direction had the mantra of no right angles. Doors are round, hallways are round, ships are round, there's rounded edges. There's hardly a right angle on anything in the entire movie, which is really spectacular. I thought the practical effects, the costumes, the creatures, anything that was done practically on set, on these giant sets, looks spectacular on this new 4K edition. But some of the early digital stuff, we just really couldn't do some of that stuff. It has that kind of oh, isn't that quaint quality now? Because the movie is now, it's old. It came out in 1998. But I think it stands up. The future version of the film holds up to today in 2025. Some of the things they were doing, they were worried about the planet. They were trying to build a jump gate. One of the reviews back in the day, I remember calling it one of the dumbest movies ever. And I'm like, okay, that guy didn't get it. Because there's time travel stuff in here. There's all sorts of science in this. It's a little more Star Trek than Star Wars. And there's a scene early in the film where the family is about to take off. They get almost all the original characters in there. The original Don, Judy, Penny. They are all there. They also have the original voice of the robot, which I think Dick Tufeld, they had to use that. He's wonderful in the movie. It does have some changes, and now in retrospect, we've had that Netflix show. They did a really good job with the I think that came closer to getting to the original show, but it was different too. But as a one-off cult classic, that I would have loved a trilogy of Lost in Space movies. Where did the family go after this, and what do they do? And with the whole Dr. Smith thing. Because you got Gary Oldman just being a bad guy, and he's really good at it. Everybody's good in the movie, even Joey in Space. I thought the movie holds up today. It's a kind of a cult classic now. It had an $80 million budget. It went on to gross $136 million. But it's getting a special Arrow limited edition release with so many brand new extras on it. Obviously, somebody loves this movie. And I'm in a lot of those 4K groups. A lot of people picked it up. But some are fans, some are not. They've never seen it before, but it's got this really bright artwork, and it really is a great 4K edition, probably better than this movie deserves. It would be nice if they could go back and clean up the special effects, but we're so far now, leave them the way they were, because that's the way we remember it. And I remember sitting in the theater with the cast going, oh, that little creature doesn't look very good, but the rest of the movie is pretty good. And watching it now, especially when we've had all the superhero movies and all the multiverse movies and all the time travel movies, this movie holds up very well, actually. Akiva Goldsman, he's still making movies today. He wrote this. It was one of his first times producing. He worked with Stephen Hopkins, who had done Predator 2, among other things. They had a big set design. When it came to music, they wanted to use the original John Williams, but John Williams wasn't available. Then they had another guy, and Bruce Broughton came in at the last minute and did all the music. Really good. They did some modern songs over the soundtrack that gave it a more modern feel. All in all, watching it now, plus all the extras, this is a great package you can pick up for $25 to $30 these days. 4K, it's not going to ever look better than this. So I've always liked Lost in Space. Your mileage may vary, but the 1998 movie holds up. I think William Hurt is fantastic in the film. I think Mimi Rogers is great. And I think everybody does a really good job with it. This couldn't have been easy to pull off. They were filming on 5 stages at the same time sometimes. The shoot went on for over 4 months. You really learned a lot in the extras, and I'm glad I did. So check it out. Lost in Space is new from Arrow. It just came out this week. It's definitely worth the money. I'm Scott on ROCKFILE. More podcasts are on the way. Thank you so much for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe, and have a spectacular day.